the stadium went quiet. Not the kind of quiet that comes before a kickoff, but the kind that settles when a storm of grief is too heavy to put into words. Flags didn't wave. Chants didn't rise. And even the heartbeat of Anfield felt paused, frozen in a moment too real to ignore. Because Diogo Jota, the sharp striker, the relentless force, the beloved Red, was no longer with them. He wasn't warming up on the pitch. He wasn't waiting on the bench. He was gone. And Liverpool was grieving. In the days since the world learned of Jota's sudden death in a fiery crash on a remote Spanish road, fans, friends, and football legends have flooded social media with tributes. But what happened at Deepdale, Liverpool's first match since the tragedy, was something else entirely. This wasn't a game. It was a funeral in boots and jerseys. A final goodbye, wrapped in scarves, sung through tears, and held together by silence. But how did it all unfold? And what happened on that haunting day when football stopped, and love spoke louder than goals ever could? Let's go back to the crash that changed everything. On July 3, 2025, headlines erupted across Europe. Liverpool star Diogo Jota killed in car crash alongside brother. It sounded fake. Like a cruel rumor no one wanted to believe. But it wasn't. Jota, just 28 years old, had been driving through northern Spain with his older brother Andre Silva when their car reportedly collided with a truck on a remote stretch of highway. Emergency services arrived to a horrifying scene. The vehicle was unrecognizable. Both brothers, gone on impact. What followed was chaos. Conflicting reports. Shock from players. Silence from the club. And a wave of heartbreak across Portugal, England, and the wider football world. Because this wasn't just a star. This was someone who had just hit his prime. This was a teammate. A father. A brother. And now, a memory. You didn't need to be inside the stadium to feel the pain. Within hours, fans began gathering outside Anfield. Some came alone. Some in groups. Some with children who wore Jota's number 20 shirt without fully grasping the weight of it. Bouquets lined the gates. Scarves wrapped around iron bars like crosses on a grave. And handwritten letters, simple, childlike, saying things like, "Thank you, Diogo. You made us proud." But it wasn't just Liverpool. At Molineux, his former home with Wolves, fans lit candles and sang his name. In Lisbon, supporters left flags at a local chapel. In social media posts, clips of his goals suddenly looked different, not just highlight reels, but echoes. Jota wasn't trending because he scored. He was trending because he was missed. And Deepdale would soon become the beating heart of that grief. On Sunday, July 7th, Liverpool played their first preseason match. The opponent, Preston North End. The venue, Deepdale Stadium. But from the moment fans entered the ground, it was clear this was more than a match. Preston, in a show of class rarely seen in preseason fixtures, had printed free matchday programs dedicated solely to Diogo and Andre. On the cover, their names, side by side. Inside, photos, career highlights, and quotes from teammates who could barely hold it together. And then, the anthems began. First, the haunting melody of Preston's "Can't Help Falling in Love." Then, louder, deeper, rawer, came Liverpool's hymn, "You'll Never Walk Alone." But this time, the song felt different. It wasn't just tradition. It was promise. That even in death, Jota wouldn't walk alone. As the final notes of the anthem faded, all eyes turned to the tunnel. And from it emerged Mohamed Salah, not just as a forward, but as a captain. Behind him, Liverpool's squad, each one wearing a black armband. each face solemn, each stride heavy. As they lined up for kickoff, no one spoke. No one cheered. Instead, Deepdale fell into an impeccably observed minute of silence. No music. No applause. Just breath, held tight, and hearts breaking together. Even rival fans stood in respect. Reporters described the moment as devastatingly beautiful. One wrote, "It felt like the game was being played in a cathedral." And it was. Because football had become faith. And this was the liturgy. Before the match, manager Arne Slot addressed the media. You could see it in his eyes, he wasn't just giving a press conference. He was grieving. "I don't know what's appropriate," he said quietly. "Can we train again? Can we laugh again? Can we be angry if there's a wrong decision?" He paused, clearly shaken. Then added, "Maybe the best thing we can do is be like Jota." Slot explained that Jota was always himself, humble, consistent, genuine, no matter who he was talking to. "So I told the players, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to train, train. If you want to sit still and say nothing, then do that too. But don't pretend. Don't hide. Don't force it." It wasn't tactical brilliance. It was emotional leadership. And the entire squad followed his lead. What made this tragedy even heavier was that it wasn't just Diogo. His brother, Andre Silva, died alongside him. And while Andre wasn't a public figure like Diogo, the club still made sure to honor him. In the matchday program. In the chants. And in the tributes written in Portuguese that fans left outside Deepdale. Some fans brought signs with both their names. Others held up shirts with Jota and Andre, "Forever Together," printed across the back. This wasn't just about a career cut short. It was about a family broken in half. And Liverpool, for one sacred afternoon, became that family too. Midway through the first half, something magical happened. The crowd, unprompted, began chanting Jota's name. Softly at first. Then louder. Then louder still. It wasn't a cheer. It was a lament. "Diogo Jota, la 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 la." Over and over, in waves. In the 20th minute, his number, fans rose and applauded for a full 60 seconds. One supporter unfurled a massive banner that read, "Not forgotten. Forever a Red." Another held up a hand-painted Portuguese flag with a simple word written across it. "Irmão." Brother. As the match continued, it didn't matter what the score was. Because Liverpool wasn't playing for points. They were playing for peace. With the grief still fresh, many fans are already asking, what's next? Will Liverpool retire his number? Will they organize a testimonial match? Will there be a mural at Anfield? So far, no official announcement. But inside sources suggest talks are underway for a permanent memorial. And Salah, speaking to fans after the match, hinted that Diogo will be remembered in a way that lives forever. Some fans have launched online petitions calling for a statue. Others want his shirt enshrined at the club museum. But most just want him back. And since that's not possible, they want the world to never forget. Some players become legends. Others become memory. But Diogo Jota didn't just leave behind goals and trophies. He left behind presence. A presence that now echoes through Anfield like a hymn. He didn't just represent a club. He represented belief. Belief that passion still matters. That family still comes first. That football can still break and heal the heart. As Liverpool marches on, they will walk. but they will walk with his name stitched into their spirit. The anthem says it best. Walk on, with hope in your heart. And now, they walk on, for Jota. With him. Not behind them, but beside them. Forever.